In this video, what I want to do is I want to go through and set up kind of a build mode, so to speak. So when I press B, I want to enable build mode. And in build mode, I'm going to have a function that's running on tick that kind of gives us some sort of visual builder, whether that be dragging around an object until it snaps and that kind of thing. So we're just going to kind of go from there. So what we're going to do is load up our character.h and .cpp that comes with the project. I'm going to remove anything related to VR just because, well, we have zero use for it. Almost remove something that I need. And the comments that literally describe what the function name is already telling us. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create a simple protected boolean that is our build mode. So I guess we'll just do it under player input component. We'll do it near the bottom. So it's going to be a U property or blueprint read only. And as usual, category, we're just going to set to tutorial, at least for my sake. We're going to do bool b in build mode. That'll be a sufficient one. And then we want a public function. So this can be a U function. It's going to be blueprint callable. Category is going to, again, be tutorial. And I want to do void set build mode. So bool enabled. So that'll be the name. So if we pass in true, this will be true. If we pass in false, obviously it's going to be false. So let's create the definition. So here in set build mode, we're going to do b in build mode equals enabled. Alrighty, now let's get rid of all these little errors that it's complaining about from us removing stuff from the header. That's it. All right, next up, I want to have a simple getter. So I don't know if we would actually need this, but we'll just go ahead and do it anyways. So we're going to do bool get build mode. No parameters, and instead we're just going to make it a constant function that returns b in build mode, just like that. And that's all that's going to do. So from here, we want to do some checking kind of in our tick. And right now we don't actually have the tick function, at least that I know of, and it's not running. So let's go ahead and set that up. So we're going to override tick. So we're going to do virtual void tick. The parameter is the float delta seconds, and make sure you obviously that you're overriding it. We're going to create the definition for it. And again, obviously, make sure you call super, because if we head into super, we can see that it actually does some useful things that, well, you kind of need to do it. All right, so in here, we're going to do a check. So if be in build mode, we can do kind of whatever we need. So we're going to do just print out a log temp, warning, text, in build mode. And down here, not in build mode. Alrighty, let's go ahead and close that down and relaunch. Alrighty, once that's done, let's go ahead and open back up our character blueprint. And I want to copy that event and just set it up so whenever we press B, I want to enable build mode. Let's actually drag that down a little farther. And we're going to call set build mode and, well, toggle it. So we want it to equal the opposite of our current build mode. Where is the getter? What's it called? Get build mode? Yeah, get build mode. All right, so we want this to equal the opposite. So not boolean, and plug that in like so. So by default, actually I need to set it, but by default that boolean is going to be false. So let's actually just make it a little clearer that it's a false in the constructor. So by default it's going to be false. So when we press B the first time, what's going to happen is it's going to set it to the opposite. So we're getting it, which is going to be false, setting it to the opposite, so it's going to make it true. Then we set it. So we're converting true to false and false to true. That's really all this is doing. So let's view the output log here. hit play. We are not in build mode. I press B, and we are in build mode. I meant to do an else, but yeah. Anyways, we know it works. So we now have our build mode set up. And in here, what I am going to set it up to do is I want to kind of have some sort of visual way to place down an object. So we're going to be constantly performing a line trace. And if it's making a hit, we want a static mesh, which is by default going to be our foundation, to be set up to be placed around the world. So we're going to have it, and then whenever we press a key, maybe something like F, I'm guessing, maybe E, we want to place that object if it is valid. So when we first load into the world like this, and we're moving around, I want there to be, nothing. But if I look down to where the line trace is making contact with the ground, I want there to be a foundation. So then I press F or B. And then let's assume that this is the foundation. Then if I look at the foundation and I am near, one of these corners where the socket is, I want that to switch over to the wall. And then again, press a key and have it, place the wall. And then after that, I want to go to press B again and disable build mode. So that kind of should sum up roughly what the end goal is here for the basic placing system. Obviously, we can, change this up, and I actually might end up doing that. I kind of want to have some sort of scroll way to, or like a way to scroll and place things that way, because I wouldn't mind having as well. I may actually have to do this for the what do you call it? The foundation, of having some form of other way to place the foundations. So have foundations being able to place more foundations or walls and specific positions and that sort of thing. So it's just going to be kind of one of those things where you got to think of the logic heavily before you execute it, which is something I have yet to do. So I haven't fully thought this out. But anyways, it's getting late, so I feel like that's probably going to be best to leave it up to my future self that is going to have a fresh-ish brain tomorrow, even though it'll probably still be pretty stupid. Anyways, if you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon down in the description below, where I have a team deathmatch series just for patrons, as well as you get early access to pretty much all my videos, such as this one. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord that's also linked down below, and I'll try to help you out. So, I'll see you in the next video.